entity born through the merging of two individuals who wear the Potara earrings has a personality all her own, and her power is not simply the sum of her separate parts, but is multiplied dozens of times over.
How strong is Goku and Vegeta's new fusion going to be in the last episode of Dragon Ball Daima? Dragon Ball Daima episode 20. Now, it is clear to anyone who has eyes that Goku is going to be fusing with someone in the last episode of Dragon Ball Daima. We got the fusion bugs or the join bugs mentioned really early, and now Goku's bag with those bugs is missing, and so those bugs are MIA, and the entire ending of what's happening right now in Dragon Ball Daima is very reminiscent of the ending of Fusion Reborn, where we got Gogeta for the first time. Not to mention that basically in passing, Geekdom has already confirmed that there will be a usage of these bugs in the last episode. Now, it is pretty clear that it is going to be Goku, as he is the strongest character at the end of episode 19. He is the strongest hero at the end of episode 19, and Goma is just getting stronger and stronger and replenishing his health and his stamina. And it's more than obvious that the person that he is going to fuse with is Vegeta, who got a lot of character growth throughout Dragon Ball Daima, even getting Super Saiyan 3 in his adult form. So with these two together, exactly how strong is this new fusion, potential fusion, going to be during Dragon Ball Daima's next episode? First things first, we got to figure out what kind of fusion we're talking about here, what kind of fusion the join bugs are actually going to perform. We have a bunch of different fusions in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT. Which one are we dealing with, and how strong is this new character going to be, who, if it is Goku and Vegeta, since we already kind of used up all the different names for both of them together, I'm thinking that Voku is a solid name for this character. That's just my take. Let me know which name you would think this fusion would have in the comment section below. Now, the explanation for the join bugs say that 2 or more people eat the pieces of the join bug, they combine into one warrior and get stronger. That's basically it, which power scaling wise sounds exactly like Potara. So if the power scaling aspect of this fusion is like Potara, we have to go to the Potara explanation that is told to us here by Vados. The new body and personality born from a Potara fusion are more than the sum of their parts, and their power increases tens of times. So 10 times whatever the combination of both powers is. So whatever Goku and Vegeta are, both of them combined 10 times on top of that. That is what the fusion character, that is what their power level is. And this isn't the only time that fusion is explained to us this way. In Dragon Ball Z's Buu arc, Goku hands the Potara earring to Vegeta and says, "Our powers will be multiplied together." The explanation isn't even just limited to the Potara. When Goku is explaining the fusion dance to Piccolo, he says, "You know them, I met a couple in the afterlife and they taught me you can only do it with somebody around the same size and power, but when they do it, they become way stronger than the sum of their parts." It's like the exact same language as the Potara explanation. When Gogeta is being explained in DBS Broly, it is said that their strengths are not just added together, but they are significantly greater. And if we go to the 2009 manga Super Exciting Guide, it describes the power from the Potara as so incredible, it's like multiplying the two characters' power levels together. The caption even helpfully reads Goku x Vegeta equals Vegeto. However, the seg also describes the fusion dance as multiplying the two people's powers together. So fusion and Potara seem to basically do the exact same thing. All of this is it adds and then multiplies. And since Vados basically told us as tens of times, I would say 10 times, maybe even 10 to 20 times, or whatever that power is, depending how much they power up. She does say tens of times, so that makes sense if it is a character that can power up And that's what Dragon Ball characters have been doing since the beginning, at least since the Saiyan saga. Their power levels are not always staying the same, and when they start powering up attacks or just powering up themselves, they can go way further than that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking that Vados is saying. But just as a base, the fusion is 10 times whatever the two characters' power levels added together actually is. Now, even though I believe that this fusion is going to be more of the Potara and Fusion Dance style, I do think that the explanation on the pictures looks a lot like Merge, which is the fusion where two characters merge together to make a more powerful warrior. The power level explanation is the same as Fusion and Potara, but the new being that comes out is way bigger and actually looks significantly different, similar to in the Dragon Ball special, The Return of Son Goku and Friends, where we meet Tarble, Vegeta's brother. We also meet Abo and Kado that basically fuse together to make Akka, and the being looks far different than both of them, but a lot bigger. And I think that's kind of the principle that we're going to be getting for this new fusion. But still, I believe that the power scaling of the 10 times is going to be what we're going to be looking at, because that is the explanation for Potara and for the Fusion Dance. Okay, that's great. We are rearing to go. But how powerful is Goku and Vegeta at the end of Dragon Ball Daima? Originally, I had thought that Goma was far stronger than what we had seen earlier on in Dragon Ball Daima, mainly due to the fact that when Goku goes into Super Saiyan 4, he is beaten outright by Goma. And to me, that felt like Goma was way stronger than he ought to be, but because Goku and the gang are all children, it makes sense that they were heavily nerfed, or at least they were miniature versions of themselves, so they are nerfed. That's why in episode 19 of Dragon Ball Daima, when we see Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta attack Goma, he does literal damage, physical damage, a lot of damage to Goma, and to the point where Goma has to keep regenerating stamina and power and getting bigger, to the point where he outdoes Vegeta and is able to blast him back to base. And that is why Goku, instead of going into Super Saiyan 3 and fighting him with that, he ends up going into Super Saiyan 4, realizing that Goma is at a Super Saiyan 4 level, at least from what he's seen. So that's great. Now we know that Super Saiyan 4 is the level that Goku is at in Dragon Ball Daima. That is his strength level right after Super Saiyan 3. Whatever multiplier Super Saiyan 3 had, increase that to Super Saiyan 4, and that's where he's at. But what we see in Dragon Ball Daima episode 20's preview, we see that Goku is charging up some sort of attack, and this attack is so powerful that it actually makes Goma transform again into this behemoth, and he becomes far bigger, stronger, more veins everywhere, more detailed. And to me, that means that Goku has hit Goma with something stronger than what he is, or much stronger than what Super Saiyan 4 Goku is, meaning that Goma is far above a Super Saiyan 4 at this point at the end of Dragon Ball Daima. And to me, that means he's closer to that Super Saiyan God level, if not right at it. And I'm just talking about raw strength, not the hacks abilities or the ki or anything like that. Just the pure strength that Super Saiyan God wields. I think that's where Goma is at, which is going to push Goku into trying to go into this fusion with Vegeta, who Vegeta can only go to Super Saiyan 3. Goku's in Super Saiyan 4. Once they fuse together, we're going to see exactly what comes out of that fusion, and then we can see exactly what we're dealing with. But when it comes to power, we'd have to figure out exactly how strong this version of Goku is, because if it's both Super Saiyan 4 Goku on top of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, then multiplied by 10 because of the fusion, that would mean that this character is 10 times stronger, if not more, than Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 3 combined, meaning that he is going to be at the same level, if not stronger than Goma, who's at Super Saiyan God. And that to me shows that this character more than likely will surpass the strength of Super Saiyan God at that point. But I still do not believe that he would be anywhere close to Super Saiyan Blue level, because unfortunately the transformation with the God Ki of Super Saiyan 4 and the multiplier of the Super Saiyan added to Super Saiyan God is going to be way more powerful than even the fusion between Goku and Vegeta can harness at that moment. And honestly, they probably wouldn't even need that much because it would be overkill against someone like Goma, who they just need to knock in the back of the head so that way he drops a third eye. I also don't think that it should be that crazy sounding or anything like that to have the Super Saiyan 4 transformation be stronger than Super Saiyan God, because Broly exists and Broly was able to defeat not only Super Saiyan God after it's been trained with and somewhat mastered, and Super Saiyan Blue defeated both of them without even really transforming. So it shouldn't be any real surprise that something like Super Saiyan 4 would be able to do something similar. The only issue would be that Super Saiyan 4, that transformation right off the bat at the end of Dragon Ball Daima, should be something that Goku or anyone else should have some recollection of at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, but because they don't, that's really the only issue that I see with this, not the power but the story. So at the end of it all, I would say that this fusion more than likely would be right above Super Saiyan God level, at least the level of Super Saiyan God that we saw in Battle of Gods. Nothing after that, just Battle of Gods. And I'm just talking about raw power, way stronger than Goma, and I believe that this fusion is what's going to take to knock out the third eye from Goma and end the story. That's what my anticipation is for episode 20 on Friday, but let me know what you guys think in the comments.